How on a day, my beautiful and amazing people? I salute you according to our time, or depending on when at that they listen to us. I welcome you to this beautiful day with another Bongalicious information, my people. Now, well done, my people. Now, welcome. On a day, hear wait we dey hear. Wonder shall never end, my people. You see, I am beginning to support the motion or the opinion that polygamy, whether African tradition or no African tradition, is not healthy at all. We have said this before, and some people are like, we are in a man's world, and it is how the tradition has already been kept. So, because of that, there's nothing wrong for a man who can take care of 2, 3 women to go and marry as many as they want. I have also seen so many women that have argued with me and said, Niger celebrity, you are wrong. That we have a lot of women around, and in order to solve so much problem of singleness or spinster, there are some beautiful women, good looking women, good character women, but had no man to marry them. So one of the ways that you can get them settled down is by allowing polygamy, because oftentimes the kind of men you are looking for is not forthcoming, and the ones that are coming are not the kind you are looking for, and those ones you are looking for are already taken. But if those ones that are taken can also take another one, they have been taken, if they that are taken can take another person to join them, then to those women it is accepted. And as many that gave me that information or that called also said they will also be ready to be part of that polygamy, as long as that is the kind of man they want, and that man also is ready to have more than one wife and can take care of more than one wife. They don't have any problem. So some women, what I'm trying to say in the sense is that some women are ready to be second wife. Some women are ready to go into polygamy. Some of these women actually are not there because of money. Some of these women who are ready to go into polygamy can take care of themselves. They can take care of themselves and everything. Just because of the stigma attached to singlehood, as it has to do with women in Africa. That's why some people say, instead of staying alone and take care of yourself, let me stay in a man's house as a second wife and also take care of myself. Let it also, so that I can answer a married woman. Is she married? Yes, she's in a husband's house, even if not fifth wife. So that argument is going around so much, and the question is from the same way African culture has kept women at the background, relegated women, made women second class or second class citizens. That's what is bringing up all these things. So my people, no be smart. You see, it's because of these things that are bringing up the hottest saga on social media right now. Look at these 2 men, 2 polygamous men. Though one rich, one poor. Though one rich, one poor. Though one should have also been rich by now and also famous if he had played his card well. But there is no good thing in polygamy. As long as polygamy is concerned, there is nothing good that comes out of polygamy, I tell you. Quote me anywhere. Nothing good comes out of polygamy. No matter how the man no matter how the man pretends to love you, polygamy has its own challenges. And if you are not matured enough to go into polygamy, you will find it very, very difficult to cope in a polygamous relationship. Check out kids that came out from a polygamous relationship, how it happened. Check out how competitive they are. They will compete with you, even compete with their spouses, just because the spirit of polygamy had entered into their lives. My people, no be smart. Now look at these 2 people. There was a time the disbarber lawyer was telling us that nothing good can come out of polygamy. There was a time he was saying, and even though he was trying to create some distance for himself, But I can still pick out one or two things from the Disquagba lawyer right now that actually polygamy is a very bad thing. If not that, what would have happened in the life of Regina Daniel and the family, and in the life of Judy Austin right now? Regina Daniel and the family is in this trouble because they didn't understand what polygamy is. They thought marriage is marriage and they entered in. And now Regina Daniel cannot cope in polygamy. From all we are saying, we are beginning to discover that problem no start now in that marriage. There have been problem, but Regina Daniel has been covering up. After suffering inside Ferrari, they will give her some thousands of dollars. She will come to the social media and create impression that is not actually what is happening inside. Whenever she receives a pay from the man, she comes to the social media to give us an impression that she's okay, when in the actual sense she wasn't okay. The same thing that is happening in the life of Judy Austin, just because she entered into a polygamy that was not prepared, just because she was trying to snatch somebody's husband and trying to push the man into polygamy, because it was Judy Austin that was pushing Yul Edochie into polygamy. Not Yul Edochie pushing Judy Austin into polygamy. So Judy Austin trapped Yul Edochie with pregnancy and pushed him into a forced polygamy. And Yul Edochie now called himself a proud polygamist without understanding what is involved. Because Yul Edochie, one, didn't come from a polygamous family. So he does not have the experience of what happens in a polygamous family. So he doesn't know how the thing happened. He just thinks that polygamy is about having two women or more than one woman. Polygamy is about having many women under one man. That's what is written in a book. But it doesn't know that there are challenges, there are principles, there are things. If you must go into polygamy, you must be someone who have understood how polygamous family works. Meaning that you must have come out from a polygamous family and enjoyed it. Because one of the things I notice about anybody that is born in a polygamous family does not like polygamy. The people that detest polygamy so much are those that their families, their parents had more than one wife. They will tell you, no matter how lovely their father is, no matter how lovely their mom is, no matter how lovely those people that had them, the polygamous family is so toxic and hostile, especially in the East. I don't want to say of any other place. It's so toxic, so hostile, and it has never favored anybody. So that is it. When our royal Queen May said she was not going into polygamy, that she cannot be cajoled into polygamy, people are saying all sort of rubbish at that time. Is it not the man's house? The man wants another woman. Why don't you stay? Women know they pursue women. There are nothing, even fellow women didn't say, because they don't understand what it means. Somebody cannot, because of shame, and swallow sharp knife. My people, they talk am like that. He said, don't because of shame and swallow sharp knife. It is very dangerous. That was what Queen May did. No matter what anybody says, remember the pressure that was on her? Judy Edochie and Judy Austin hired a lot of people to push her into that, but she refused, because the fear of the consequence of polygamy, the fear of the outcome of polygamy, and what can come out of it was the problem that made Queen May to stand her ground. You see, whenever Queen May takes decision, don't joke with her. That woman has something inside that gives her insight. She has something inside of her that gives her insight on what to say. She doesn't just make utterances carelessly. She doesn't just reject things carelessly. And she doesn't just accept things carelessly. Check out every action that Queen May had taken. A lot of people will criticize it, but at the end of the day, it will still be at her favor. Just check it. She has never made any mistake. Not because she is so much intelligent, but because there is something inside that guides her. There's something inside that directs her that makes her to always do the right thing. Even when she may not be right, but she always do the right thing. And that is very beautiful about that. So she said she was not going to go into polygamy, and so be it. She left the marriage and allowed the husband to continue the polygamy. Where is the polygamy now? Where is it now? Where is Judy Austin and Judy Doche now? They can't cope. Because polygamy is not about having another woman. It's not about having multiple kerewa partners. It's a different thing. Because a lot of men who want to have different kinds of kerewa partners, that they want to test different kinds of women and their abilities of bed, they call it polygamy. That is not polygamy. That is promiscuity. When they tell you that men are polygamous in nature, that's not true. That's not what they mean. That is promiscuity. That's not polygamy. You understand? That is harlotry. That is promiscuity. You are just going from one woman, you text the black one, you text the white, the fair one. You don't text the fair one, you don't text the black one, you don't text the chocolate one, you don't text the tall one, you don't text the short one, you don't text the fat one, you take the slim one, and you take the moderate, the middle, the one that will get body small, fat, the one will just big, fat, slim. That is promiscuity. Everything you want to test is different from going into polygamy. Polygamy is a marriage that you can marry 3, 4 wives, do their traditional wedding, all of them. Then you come down, you take responsibility. See, that is where the Duce failed it, but right now he cannot continue. Then let's go into Ned Nwoko's issue. Ned Nwoko actually understood what polygamy means in a legal way because he's a lawyer, because he's enlightened in those things. But he does not know the practice of polygamy. Because in the olden days, when polygamy is being practiced, the man does not fight with the wives. He doesn't quarrel with the wives. The family can be quarreling. The family, the kids from different wives can be quarreling, but the man does not quarrel with the wives. He manages them very well because he's the father of all, and he's the source of all. He doesn't show favoritism in any of them. That is where Ned Nwoko is lacking it. And in a polygamous setting at that time, if you check those who practice polygamy, especially those kings that married many wives, if any of the wives will leave, the king will never do what this one did. What Ned Nwoko is doing now is rascality, hooliganism. It's executive hooliganism. It's executive rascality. You understand? Where you give order to the police to be frustrating a small boy that you don't know where to meet him, because when you are getting in your 70, 80, 90, this boy may be a savior to you or may be a doom to you. You don't know. Because what you're doing to him now, when he gets to your age, he can do it to your kid and he can do it back to you. That's what you see. Nobody has a monopoly of power. As soon as this government ends, your own power can end. Another government can come who will favor that boy and does not like you. A government can come and decide to punish you, and even if you didn't do anything wrong, the government, as long as it's a government, they can revoke every other thing to make sure they trap you. Just because of this thing you did to this boy, something can change and affects you. You don't know, because you are becoming so harsh. You are becoming so harsh just because you don't understand what polygamy is. Polygamy has to do with accepting every aspect of the women. You married her and you married the other one, she's calm. You married this one, she's quiet. You married the other one, she's hot. You married another one, she's stubborn. You married all the attributes of these women are important in your life. When you need which one? There's one that fights in the market. You can't say, oh, that one's not. That one that fights in the market should be kept for any day something like fight will come out. You send that one. When you see that somebody has come to insult you and it has to do with anyone who can fight, don't worry, you send that one. That one will go for that and execute it well. When something that comes calm, that needs a calm person, a cool-headed person, you send the other one. The person will do it very well. So these are qualities and attributes they have. These are things that makes you balance. But if you can't understand it, you start fighting the character and fighting their nature. And meanwhile, when you go to marry a small girl, what do you expect from the small girl? You expect that you train the girl and the girl will misbehave. So if it is Ned Nwoko's daughter that ran away from Ned Nwoko's house and said the father offended him, he offended her and she doesn't want to come back to the house. So Ned Nwoko will go and arrest her and keep her in prison. Or go and arrest the boyfriend and keep her in prison. Or go and arrest the son, the first son that is supporting that one, and keep in prison and say, if my daughter does not come back to me, I will not release the son. These are the things. One thing is that I just look at the Nigerian police. It's like this thing that's happening in the court with Nnamdi Kalu's case. You see, I just look at Nigerian police, I laugh. On what basis are you holding that boy? That you don't want to grant him bail? Why? And at a point, magistrate disappear. When the person to grant, the lawyer comes, magistrate disappear. On what did he commit that have even gotten to the extent of the magistrate to grant him bail? You see the problem we have. How old is that guy that you are treating like this? That didn't do anything just because his sister had a problem with the husband, and the husband decides to arrest him, and you are treating him like this. Tomorrow you will want the boy to come and fight for you to get your salary. That is the problem we have. Can you, the police that come around 12 midnight or 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the night to go and arrest that boy, can they tell us why they should go and do the arrest at that time? Why? If not persecution, if not intimidation. Why? Because the only difference here is that Ned has money. Ned had money, and this other boy is a small boy. Oga, don't give order. Maybe the IG knows about it. Maybe the what do you call him? The Attorney General. Maybe the Attorney General knows about it. Everybody, even the president can know about it. Now, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any difference. Everything you are doing to the guy, even if you buy the guy, no problem. But whatever you do to anybody, the consequence of it will come. I am not in any way supporting anything that guy has done that is bad. But you have to let the thing be known before treating him like this. You should have allowed the boy to be coming to court. Was he running? Have you invited him to court and he ran away? Have you sued him and he ran away? Why arrest him in the night, denying him seeing the family for a few days before you allow him, then demanding him to the prison? Why? What did he do when there are people stealing and there are terrorists around, going around? Nothing. None of you had even sponsored anything to catch them. You are catching an innocent boy just because the sister said he doesn't want it again. This country lacks shame. We lack shame. Those are politicians when I see somebody who said he has practiced law for 40 years, and the only way you can settle case is by intimidating a small boy, a very small boy. It's so shameful. I don't like talking about this case. I don't like it because I don't like insulting people. If you look at my way of saying things, I don't like insulting people. I hate it. But I also don't like intimidation. I don't like when you use your power to frustrate another person just because you're a senator. You are a senator today. You may not be a senator tomorrow. There are some senators that are not even coming out of their communities. There are senators that after their tenures, nothing happens again. You may use all the money you have to win election. Time will come when money will no longer win election in Nigeria. At that time, it will stop, and people will remember all your evils. You will run away from your community. When you are treating your community people bad, remember, you can't stay alone. You can't be an island. No matter how you build your house and fence it, one day, you will need another person to protect you. You will need people to guide you. And at a point, time will come when you will have a government that will not allow any police to be with you. Remember, it happens in this country. The same way you have your own idea of government is the same way another person can have his own idea of government. Have you ever think about it that somebody can come and withdraw all the policemen or the security agencies that are attached to you, or that even when you pay money to them, they will give them ultimatum not to go near you. You will be stripped of everything and you'll be walking alone. What will you do? And at that time, this person you are putting in this prison and everything may be in charge. And if the person becomes in charge and strip off all your security and just allow you in the hand of anybody, how will you feel? These are the things that when we are dealing with people like this, we should understand that something like this are possible. But one thing I understand is that people are always beclouded with what they have. Like I told you in the last video, that some people are too poor that the only thing they have is money. Some people are very poor that the only thing they have in life is money. And that is it. You think money is wealth. Money is not wealth. There are things money cannot buy. And if you don't have what can buy those things, that's bad. That's bad. In the currency of life, money is just one of them. Money is not the only thing that can buy you something. Integrity matters. Integrity matters. Value matters. But when you buy your integrity just because you have money, you are losing in life. You will lose more than someone that doesn't have money. My people, no be smart, you know. Look at them. Yul Edochie lost his integrity. Ned Nwoko lost his integrity. Everybody, even though not the same way, but you see them causing wahala, causing basbos on social media just because they want to go into polygamy that they didn't know about. I heard that Ned Nwoko's father, even a king, wasn't that a polygamy. I don't know about that. Ned Yul Edochie's father wasn't polygamous. He still isn't a polygamy because he's still alive. He's not polygamous. Even Yul Edochie's grandfather is not polygamous. Then what led him into polygamy? Frustration, arrogance. Arrogance. Sometimes people arrogantly go because Ned Nwoko had money. He feels that money can can buy any woman. Let me call it buying. Because from the way he behaves as if he bought all those women and nothing can happen. He can treat them anyhow he'd like. Because even though Regina had not come out to tell us any tangible thing that Ned Nwoko did, we see from everything, from even the way Ned Nwoko had handled Sammy's case, we know that we can now understand how the house had been. How the people have been saying, this kind of person, you have to be very careful. He's so powerful. He can be as powerful as the devil. But the devil will still lose it out one day. He can be as powerful as anything. But the power you have is limited. You cannot have all the whole powers. No wonder they say power corrupt, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. It is very bad that a young man is being treated like this. If you had told us that Sammy threatened their life, if you have told us that Sammy did this or that, fine. Even if Sammy threatened their life at his age, you should know how to deal with a small boy. I'm telling you, you are dealing with a youth, and that's very bad. Being so merciless to him because you don't know what he's going to be tomorrow. He may decide to also be merciless to you at your old age. At that time, people will say he doesn't respect old age. Then nobody is saying that this man now is not respecting young age. That is the way I look at it. My own is that when I talk, people say, I know they see things the way others they see it. How can I see the way you are seeing it if you are not seeing very well? If you don't see well, I have glasses, I give you my own, you see it. Because I try to see things with the lens of truth. Just watch things through the lens of truth. Don't be sentimental. That's why it pains me when people start judging Regina Daniel and the family based on the things Regina Daniel did when he was in Ned Nwoko's. Most of those things are reverse psychology, trying to cover up. Most of those things is just to make people not to laugh at her, thinking that people know what is going on. It's possible that all the time she carries the dollars and show you, it may not even be. He can tell you that Ned Nwoko dashed $100,000. It may not even be what happened. But the thing is that it doesn't concern us whatever she says online. But what we know is that somebody's life is at stake. And the lady said, I'm not going back to the marriage again because it's not comfortable for me. And they are forcing her to go because you see her throwing around dollars. That's not true. That's wicked. I'm telling you, that's wicked. That's not human. That's wicked. I am so upset. I don't like saying this thing. That's why I don't like going into it. But it is very bad. I don't know how you feel about this Sammy Regina Daniel issue. But I look at it. It is the same way I feel when I see what Yul Edochie did to Queen May with Judy Austin. I notice that in this life, men are heartless. Women are heartless. It's not about gender. It's not about person. It's not about state. It is not about like whatever. It is about the person. Some people are wicked in love. And that's why when God treats them badly, you don't need to ask questions when you see people seeing the consequence. At old age, a lot of people, I have seen men who have so many wives, so many kids, but at their old age, nobody takes care of them. All those kids fly away with their mothers. Everybody run away with their mothers and leave the man. The man will live in a very big house, alone, lonely. And people will say, where are the kids now? Why are they so wicked to him? Nobody's wicked to him. It's just that he didn't keep his bed very well. When you are wicked to them when they were small, they will not forget it. You will not forget it. That's exactly what is playing out in all these things. My people, like and share this video and God will bless you. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please try to do so. All our returning subscribers will say, well, now well done. My people, now welcome. Make una have a nice day. Bye.